Hello everyone, welcome to the channel of Trigonometry. Today is February 12th, Thursday. We have a very red day today. QQQ Nasdaq down over 2%, S&P 500 also down over 1%, 1.5%, and I was able to take a full advantage of this dump and I shorted a QQQ with QQQ puts and made about $50,000 in this trade. And I also shorted IGV puts, also made it over $50,000. These were the two big trades I did, and I've already closed this trade. I took the snapshot before I closed the trade. My account was up quite a lot today, and I shared this in my Discord channel. So basically, where I shorted the IGV, which is the software ETF. Uh, these are the entries. I entered the shorts. This is from last week. My first short, and I covered on the next day around the low of the day. This week, I finally got these bounces this week, so I started to build my short entries in IGV. I shorted over here, here, and here. And then yesterday, I took a little bit profit during yesterday's low, and then it bounced a little bit, and then uh, all the way down to $80 today. And I closed all my IGV puts today near the low. It was perfect, a gap fill, filling this gap right here, which is my target basically. So every target's been hit. My short IGV play has ended for now. So this is my traditional IRA. Today I was up to $23,000, even though my long position was still took a hit, but because I have the hedge in IGV puts and QQQ puts, I was able to close green today. And my Roth IRA today was up nicely $60,000, and I've sold all my positions in here. Um, the main profit was from IGV and QQQ puts. So those are the two big winners for me. What happened this week? So, if you watch my previous video, I I remained bearish throughout the past few weeks. Um, so if you remember from my previous video, I said you probably get a little bit pressure around this 615 and 616 area in QQQ because you see the moving average start to converge, and then we don't really have much of a positive catalyst. Even on Wednesday, we actually had a very good non-farm payroll number. And you would expect the QQQ should be able to break out of this area, right? But no. Wednesday open, it touched 617, briefly over 617, and then right back down to 608. This is very unusual when you have this kind of good news. The non-farm payroll number was way better than expected in every single way. Unemployment rate, the UA underemployment, the private payroll. So like basically every number was great. And then you see the dump right from the open. Even though we do recovered a little bit towards the close, it was still significantly below the open. So that was a sign. This dump is clearly institutions dumping, right? Retail is not going to make this kind of dump to have a impact on QQQ like this. This is clearly institution dumping into the good news. And when the retail may come in to trying to catch the falling knife here, and then you have slightly recovered, but today again, gap up, slightly up, and then straight down. Straight down. Didn't even get much of a bounce. I actually closed my QQQ puts right around here on this green candle because this is straight down. So this was an easy hold for me. Straight down. And this is the first big red green candle. I basically closed my puts around here. I was expecting a little bit of bounce back towards 608, but no, it was consolidating for over like 3 hours straight and going nowhere. And then towards the close, it right back down to break the low of day and touch 600. The low was 599.57. If you are in my Discord channel, I've always telling my Discord member that 600 is the key level. It's like a magnet. It will keep coming back to this level. QQQ will keep coming back to 600. So looks like it played out again exactly almost to the dot. I closed at 664. Tomorrow we're gonna have another very important data point, which is the CPI. There are two likely scenarios, in my opinion. The first scenario is that the CPI is better than expected and we gap up. And then we will try to test this 608 level because this is the previous pivot and it's broken down. Now it's becoming the resistance. If we cannot break out of 608, we'll keep coming back down. And if we are able to break above 608, we may try to retest 615, 616 area, but I don't see a lot of upside from there. Um, I think it will eventually come back down again. Um, the other scenario is that the CPI is worse than expected. Then we have a bigger problem. Um, if we keep going down, this next level is around 595. If we break this 595, the next level, I think the next level is probably around 580 for QQQ. So we have a quite a way to go from 600 to 580. So this is going to be a painful dump if we actually get there. That's my opinion. I think QQ will revisit 580 one way or the other. If we get the CPI dump, we'll just get there quicker and just get everything over with. But if we have a better CPI, it may take a little longer, but I think eventually we'll still revisit this 580. This is a very, very important pivot. I do think we need to confirm this level actually holds. Last time we revisit 580 was around the November sell-off, and then we get a very quick and violent bounce all the way back to December. So let's see how this time around if we can get a good bounce from there. So for S&P, very similar story. It closed at the low of day around 681. It touched 680, which is the other big important level. 680, I think the setup is pretty similar to QQQ. The next level is 675. Very, very likely to hit this level again, but it really depends on the CPI number tomorrow. I'm leaning towards we get a good CPI number which is better than expected, and then we get a gap up, and then we fail to break out of the 690 to 689 area and go back down. It would be more similar to the past 2 days, a gap up and down, gap up and down. So tomorrow, I think this could continue to tomorrow. We get a gap up and then down. This is also a pattern of distribution where you keep seeing we have a small gap up and then getting sell down, gap up and sell down, and this keeps repeating, meaning the institution is trying to dump their shares onto the retails because this is clearly institutions dumping very aggressively. And also, this is not unusual. This is what institutions do, and they will buy back lower at the key support level to make the difference. Um, this is their common practice. So, but as a retail investor, for me, I like to identify those signals before things happen. Why do I like to play on the short side at the start of this year? It just because I see a lot of exhaustion. I see a lot of very weak indications throughout the market in individual stocks and in QQQ especially. So right here, if you draw a trend line from here all the way across, this is a big this is the big rising wedge from the April low of last year to all the way across this is the November low and then December low and then this is the end of the year pullback all the way across. And you can see this pattern. The first bounce and second bounce, third bounce, and then you see slowly let the bounce disappear and then the break. The break of this trend line is very, very critical. And then you get a larger bounce back to the trend line and then dump. This is basically my confirmation. The trend is broken. When this trend is broken, we'll tend to revisit the next major support, which is this 580 area. And if even this level couldn't hold, the next major level is around 540, 538, 540-ish. So from 580 to 540, that's a lot of downside. So I don't think we get to 540, maybe a little too aggressive. I think at least we should revisit 580. So this is my uh big pivot. I think we kind of have to revisit 580 and consolidate to solidify this bounce and then go higher. This kind of technical setup is actually also very, very common when you see a big uptrend and then each bounce is kind of getting smaller and smaller and weaker, and then you get a break, and then you tend to see these bounces and retest, and then to have a larger pullback to retest these major support. And also, this is the 200-day moving average as well on the QQQ. So I do believe this is the major area, major level we need to revisit. If QQQ goes back to the 200-day moving average and also around this 580 key support from last November, I think this will be a major support that you'll find the next bounce. That's my breakdown for today. And if you have any questions, comments, please leave in the comment section below. If you're interested to join my Discord channel, please check the description below. And I'll see you next time. Bye.